Welcome, you guys. My name is the Gaslamp Killer, also known as William Benjamin. I am here at Only the Wild Ones. Thank you for having us, Heather. Dustin Grooves is one of our partners in this, and he could not be here because he's in Malaysia living it up like a baller. But he kind of inspired this series. So Dustin Grooves and the Wild Ones, we got together to try and bring some deep listening to the world of hearing music in the background. We all hear music every day. It's in the background of most of our lives, but how often do we stop to listen deeply? I am definitely not the best listener. I think a lot of us have a little ADHD. I definitely have a touch of the tism. Flavor's a little spicy lately with all the noise in the world. So I'm doing my best to try and utilize my gifts, and my family, are very supportive of my work since I was very young. And let me just start by saying that my father is about to turn 91 years old. Thank you. Yep. And my mom's about to be 85. They're both Capricorns. They're both pretty badass people. We got some Caps in the house. So yeah, I am super grateful to come from a supportive family that recognized this young kid who couldn't sit down or shut the fuck up. And instead of telling me to sit down and shut the fuck up, they said, we're going to put you in an art school where you could be weird with other weirdos. And I'm very grateful for that. So speaking of my father, Ishak Ben Shushan, my father is Syrian and Turkish. His grandmother immigrated from Syria on the border of Lebanon to Mexico City. And she moved around 1908 from the border of Syria and Lebanon as a refugee into Mexico City. I don't know if you guys know this, but there's a lot of Syrian and Lebanese people in Mexico City. That's where Al Pastor was created. And it's a crazy story. Her mother was blind, and she had to bring her mother across the Lebanese border, across the Syrian border into Lebanon to get on a boat all the way to Mexico City with her blind mother. And my grandfather, Nisim Ben Shushan, he came from Tekirdağ in Turkey and moved to Mexico City around 1910. I am mentioning my DNA here because this programming tonight is based on my lineage, my DNA, the fabric of my energetic awareness, my musical awareness, my curiosity to learn more about my family wasn't academic. It was creative, artistic, through music. So I found my way over many years on my own, because even though my father is proud of his heritage, he is technically a Mexican man. He was born in Mexico City. He's been working his entire life. He's turning 91 in less than a month, and he's still working. He and my mother are married 60 years, and he waits on her hand and foot. He is her keeper. He cares for her. She's been disabled a very long time, and my mom's side's Latvian, Lithuanian, Belarusian, Ukrainian. So I have a very interesting mix. They're all New York people. Anyway, so when I was 5 years old, my father taught me how to whistle. He would be around the house singing and whistling these like Mexican traditional, boleros, and some of us are into the Ladino spirituals and poetry of Spain. And, growing up with my dad, he was always whistling. And that's one of my favorite things about my dad is he has perfect pitch, and he always is whistling some shit that's getting stuck in our heads. And our whole family's always like, why am I thinking of this song that I've never heard? It's because my dad was whistling it all the time, and it would get caught in our heads like nonstop. So with that, I'd like to share the correlation between Middle Eastern music and pop music in the West. A lot of people don't know that the West influenced the East and the East influenced the West. Right now we're in Venice Beach, California. We're right near the beach, man. And we have this, shout out Chappelle. And we have this amazing surf scene, and the surf rock scene was kind of kicked off. The music was kicked off by Dick Dale. And a lot of people don't know Dick Dale's father was Lebanese. So one of the most famous songs that you have definitely heard, because like we said, a lot of us are hearing music. It's in the ether. It's always with us. You don't have to listen, but it's in the background of many films. And one of my favorite songs is Dick Dale, Mirizlu, I believe. Amir Yagmai is here. He's one of my collaborators and close friends. And we wrote the song Nisim together. That was for my grandfather and my brother who passed away. Also Nisim. And there's a classic Middle Eastern melody that I need your help with. And we'll kick it off when you're ready. Okay. So yeah, it's crazy to know that surf rock was born from a Lebanese melody. And a lot of us have heard all of this music over the years that we didn't know was Middle Eastern. So a lot of you have heard that melody. If you just put a crazy electric guitar with fuzz behind it, that dun 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 dun. Couldn't do it with a guitar. I tried it with my mouth. That was the best I could do. But Dick Dale created this amazing surf rock song that changed the world, and it was put in Pulp Fiction. And it's like this song that it gets you right in the gut the minute you hear it. And it's so cool to know that right here in California, you know, one of the birthplaces of surfing as well as Hawaii, that surf rock actually has Middle Eastern origins. And I wish more of the middle of the country and the South actually knew this, because they might be a little more inclined to enjoy the culture with us. But and also the Specials Ghost Town. This is a melody that's been recycled 1,000 times. It's it's like been in cartoons, it's been in Looney Tunes, it's been in movies, it's in the ether. It's not something you have to listen to, it's something you hear growing up. It's everywhere. So I just wanted to bring some awareness to that. Now, Amir and I, we are a big fan of Zafir Dilek. Zafir Dilek is a Turkish musician. Like I said, my grandfather was Turkish, and he passed away recently. And one of the songs that inspired us and inspired a whole generation and also inspired tons of Turkish films used his music. And it's some of the only instrumental Turkish music you could find. There's a lot of traditional singing on the folk songs and stuff. So I'm going to start it off with a Zafir Dilek song, Rest in Paradise. And this is really important, and you'll see why in a second. Thank you for coming, y'all. Up. Thanks, Abe. I can turn it down here too. And I had this plan because this song inspired one of our songs that we made together. It's one of the songs that I'm known for, that we are known for, and it's been a real gift. My grandfather's name was Nisim Ben Shushan, and my father and mother, their first son, my brother, was named Jacobo Nisim Ben Shushan. They both passed away suddenly in their sleeps at 43, many years apart from each other for different reasons. But it is an interesting, a sad thing. It is what it is, but Nisim is a song that I made with Amir to show love and respect to my brother and my grandfather and my Turkish roots. And we used the yali tambur, which is the instrument Amir has been droning on. And we're going to kick it off with some Nisim.
Okay. Oh, with me?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
And Amir is a...
Wait, I don't know what key it is.
Oh, just drone. You're just droning, or you're just jamming. This is actually the instrument we recorded the song you're about to hear with. Ooh, damn. Yes.
Maybe what would it be? It would be see if I have perfect pitch. Very.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes, Nisim. Amir Yagmai, we recorded This Is Our Song, Nisim. That's for my grandfather, my brother. Thank you, Amir, for rolling out. He lives down the street near the beach, and he's a surfer, and he's freaking Iranian. He's the perfect man. And we're working on a new album right now, but this is our song. And I thank you. I love you, bro. Thank you for helping me bring this to reality for our families. And this is Nisim. This was inspired by the song you just heard, Yetke. And I'll kick it off. Let's go. Thank you. Hi. Welcome back.
Thank you.
That's all Amir Yagmai right here. Pass this to you. Can you pass it around? Yeah. Nisim. Yes. And rest in paradise to the bass player Bram Inscore, who played bass on the song, Mike Green on the drums. So Turkish music is microtonal, and a lot of the Middle Eastern sound has its own mathematics behind it, based on the Pythagorean theorem. This is a very, very sophisticated, much more nuanced tuning system for the instruments in the East. And I'm a producer, I'm a DJ, do a lot of things, but one thing I do not do is study music. I learn through listening, but I had to really dig into some shit here. I got 10 pages. And I didn't go to college. I graduated high school in the year 2000 by cheating off my Ukrainian friend. And I did her English and social studies and history homework, and she did my math and science homework. I'll just say it now. Olga Ilichenko, we're still friends. She's an amazing human. And we helped each other and shattered the system's chains for fun, because we're rebels, Dottie. And the maqam system, which divides the octave into far more nuanced pitch intervals than Western music. Instead of 12 equal semitones Turkish theory works with a much smaller pitch units called commas, allowing melodies to move between the keys of a piano. So this is some heavy shit for me to understand. Goes right over my head. And even though Amir is classically trained, when we get in the studio together, we speak an instrumental telepathy kind of energetic language where we're both, stumbling around the studio, being curious children with childlike wonder and enthusiasm for creativity and finding our way. And Nisim was a much more intentional song than anything else I've ever done because it was for my family. But we're working on a new album now, and we've made many songs that are featured on different records, including this record, Heart Math, and the record that we're passing around, Breakthrough. That's my first album. We're passing the record around just so you can take a look at it. And this is my brother right here, and I'm just grateful to learn music through the help of a classically trained but also sophisticated Batman. And yeah, I feel music and I listen to it. I don't just hear it. And I'm not used to wearing a motherfucking lav. I'll tell you that right now. Fancy, right? So anyway, Turkish music. Les Moguls, the Moguls. They are one of the illest groups in Turkish psychedelic history. The Anatolian psychedelic sound, that word was coined from this record right here that I'm about to play you. These are priceless to me. I don't pass these ones around, unfortunately, but Les Moguls are like a straight up gang in Turkey. They played on so many different people's albums. They're kind of like the Wrecking Crew of Turkey. The Wrecking Crew was the musicians who were in the shadows. They weren't the stars. They stayed up late in Capitol Records, and they recorded behind the scenes. Some of the most important pop songs in history were not written by the people who put them out and whose face was on the cover. They were actually recorded and sometimes written by the Wrecking Crew. And once the studio execs would close their doors at Capitol Records in Hollywood for the night, the Wrecking Crew would show up with a six-pack and some cigarettes and God knows what else they were doing in the late 60s and 70s. Well, we all know. And they would show up and record some of the illest songs. So Les Mogul, this group, was like the Wrecking Crew of Turkey, and they played behind all the stars. And this song influenced Western pop culture in a major way, and you'll see why in a moment. Thanks, love. Thank you all so much for being here. Truly, it means the world to me. Thank you. More cowbell. I wish I was that guy in the studio. Just one job. They even look like a motorcycle gang. Woo.
For some live shit. Welcome to the D, baby. It's all live down here. What you see is all real. Killer. About to set it the fuck off. Beaming like Uncle B's clean my truck off. Y'all know they shouldn't have let a nigga up in this bitch. Obviously they don't know what they fucking with. Jay Dilla, bars, nigga. I'ma hit y'all with the new. Get off the wall, nigga. Hey, I'ma see if y'all ready. Count it down. 3, 2, 1.
Excuse me one second. Somehow this is warped. I could see it sounding weird. Let's try it again. Yeah, that's interesting. Oh, it was the candle. Whoops, I'm blind, baby. That's fucked up. Yeah. My bad. So I didn't have that problem at my crib, I'll tell you that. But Middle Eastern music does have a little bit of a deranged sound. You know, it does. Those instruments were tuned totally differently. And some of the instruments, this is Elias Rabbani, Mosaic of the Orient. Some of the instruments that they use are really tuned in a strange way. This one I could pass around. So, you know, he used the nai, the bouzouki, the kanun, the oud, which we use, the tabla and the darbuka, which my grandmother played in Syria. Also the double flute. And a lot of these, you know, were not tuned in classical ways. They were very grimy. And something that I'd like to share is that the tape machines in Turkey and India and across the Middle East were 2-track tape machines for a very, very long time. Their studios were not updated. And every time there was a studio in the US or somewhere else in Europe that was updating their tape machines, their sister label would get the tape machines that were used right after theirs would get the latest one, but it still wasn't the latest. They went from 2-track to 4-track to 8-track. So they were always behind by a couple of years when they were making these records. So the musicians recorded all together in the room. And this is something that we have lost in modern times, is bringing a band together to record all at once as a unit where everybody's looking at each other and they just have these partitions and they have the sound dialed in as like a live recording on 2-track tape, which this record in 1972, the first edition of Mosaic of the Orient, was recorded in Beirut on a freaking 2-track tape machine. This was not hi-fi, and these speakers are like on another level, as well as this mixer. I wish you could see it from this side. It looks like straight up NASA console. And yeah, just very beautiful to know that they made do with so little. Less is more. Now you got people flipping through samples on Splice and all of these other things. There's so many producers in the world now, and they have every single sound in the galaxy available to them just on a knob. They're turning through sample after sample after sample, trying to find the perfect beat or the perfect snare, the perfect kick. And it is exhausting, and it is so far removed from the act of creation, the way that the music that they're sampling and the music that we make with live musicians in a live room, in the live setting, it's so far removed. So I have a little special bonus record before we move on to India that I realized I needed to share. There is a woman from Turkey named Selda Bajan. Selda is one of the most important figureheads in all of Turkish psychedelia. Selda was one of the few women that was in charge of her band, and Les Moguls played for Selda. Erkin Koray, the greatest guitar player of all Turkish history, played for Selda. She put a super group together, but when she was just making her first records, she literally got her shot to go with her acoustic guitar into a studio and an electric guitar that she borrowed from the freaking engineer, because she did not own an electric guitar, to make some music. And I wasn't going to include this originally because I don't own the original copy of the record, not to be a curmudgeon, but I'm not trying to come up here and play comps for you guys. I'd rather play you from the depths of my collection and the records that took me years to find. And when I went to Turkey, I was interviewed for the documentary about Selda, and I'm going to play one song, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about Selda Bajan. This needs a little more Palo Santo. I'm going to pass this one to you, Leah. This is Selda Bajan from this session. The photo is from this session. Bundan sonra. This is Les Mogul and Erkin Koray backing her up. More Selda. Oh my God. I have never heard pain in someone's voice like Selda Bajan, this woman. God knows the woman's fucking story is insane. So she was one of the few people, not women, one of the few human fucking beings in Turkey that stood up against her regime of her time. She was so unapologetic. This was in 78.
78?
Yes, and
wow.
She was unapologetic, taking the Turkish folk songs that her family and all of the Turks had grown up listening to. This music was so wide, the reach was so wide of these folk songs, and she subverted them to give them new meaning in form of protest. And in this act, in this form of protest, she went from this kind of like Dylan, from acoustic to electric, and she got this band of the Moguls and Erkin Koray. These people were not sober, let's put it that way, and they were shredding, and they were fucking dressed with like Hendrix. They were so fucking out there, they were so, outspoken, and she got this band of gypsies together and put these guys in the studio to make this record. And I'm passing the record around. Yes, you got it. Thank you. You got both. Okay, great. Can I have those, please? Thank you very much. You can pass them. Oh, I got to put them back in their sleeves, for God's sake. This one already, I might as well toss this one. I was freaking playing like a reverse exorcism. So Selda finally got the law caught up to her. She got put in prison. In Turkey, in the 80s, there was no fucking women's prison. There was just prison. And a lot of the women at that time were not going to prison, and God knows what they were going through, but this woman was put into an all-men's prison for her songs, for her rebellion. She brought in her music on, she brought her music into prison. She snuck it in. Don't want to say how. But she passed this fucking tape around the prison. And every single man in the prison found her words to be salvation. She became the fucking boss bitch, no lie. She took over the prison. She became the favorite of all the prisoners. And instead of her, she was obviously in isolation, but instead of her becoming a martyr, she became a hero. And finally, her music spread so far and so wide. She did her bid. She got out, and she was barred from touring. They took her passport for many years. But now in 2025, Selda Bajan is currently and has been on fucking tour. And she plays for huge audiences of 20 to 50,000 people. She's on tour playing with the same members of the same bands that I was just sharing with you. Like, this chick all over Europe. Yeah, she's all over Europe. You could find her out there. And I was interviewed for a documentary about Selda last time I was in Istanbul. And they were expressing to me that the guy who put out the reissue that I passed around, did you give me that one back? Anyway, the reissue that I passed around, yes, here it is. This guy named Andy Votel from Manchester, Northern England. He's an amazing record, not just collector, but he finds a way to get the rights to music from the artist directly. From the past, he flies to wherever they are. He's not writing emails or speaking with management. He flew to Turkey from the UK and had a meeting set up because of the other reissues he had made. High quality gatefold, super great remastering. Like, he gives it justice. And Andy Votel was a mentor to me. He brought me to the UK in 2007 to do a tour before anyone gave a shit about me. I think I was around 25. And it was very rugged. And Andy told me a story while we were on a bus from Manchester to Carlisle. Please don't ever go to Carlisle. If you go to the UK, don't go to Carlisle. And we were on a bus with these guys. They call them chavs. We would call them jocks or meatheads. And wow, I'm showing my age. Meatheads, bro. And these guys literally were in the front of the bus. We got two spots on one seat at the back of the bus, and they kept turning their heads looking back at us like, Exactly. They're like, these fucking freaks. We're going to beat these kids. The more beers they pounded, the more afraid we got. And we, thankfully, were on the stop after them. But when they got off the stop, the bus driver looked back at us and he's like, this ain't your stop, right? We're like, fuck no. He's like, stay where you are. Shit's about to get crazy. Literally, every single bottle and can they had in their hands started flying at the windows of the bus, shattering everything they had at us. It wasn't even at us. It was at this poor bus driver's bus. But on the way there, Andy told me this story that he went to Istanbul to meet with Selda and her crew. And they sat down at this fancy dinner that Andy had to pay for. And when they got there, they put a bunch of plates out, Turkish delicacies, the whole table, a huge banquet hall type of restaurant. They bought out the restaurant. This is his story. I'm telling it third person. And they get there, they put the spread down, and then Selda's nowhere to be found. So they're there for an hour. She's still not there. Of course, she's a goddess. She's a legend. She's like, let's let the fucking men talk. Let these fuckers talk. Let's see what they talk about. So they put this gelatinous gray meat in front of Andy. And they say, this is a Turkish delicacy. If you want to be down, you need to eat what we eat. It was fucking lamb's brain, raw. So Andy, he's from England. He eats like shit anyway. He's hey, what the fuck? Let's go. No knock on England. Actually, that was a knock. They're getting better now. But Andy ate the lamb's brain. And everyone at the table, the minute he swallowed, the table erupted in laughter and pointing at him, you fucking idiot. Look at this guy. He ate the lamb's brain. They're like, nobody's eaten this for 100 years. This is like food from the fucking villages, man. And he swallowed it and he just smiled and he goes, now can I meet Selda? No. And she comes in from the kitchen and walks up, puts her hand on his shoulder and goes, I'll give you my record. Oh. And the next thing you know, the world was given this Selda record that was impossible to find. At the moment, I believe this record is like $1,000 for the original, which I'm not spending money on records like that. I love the music. Mm-hmm. I don't need the physical objects. This is a 5-record music exploration series, and I have been collecting since '97, but I am not beholden to physical media. I don't need more items in my home. You can't even put a cup down at my house. I dare you to come over and try. And I just want the music. And so knowing that Andy went out of his way to get this music in the hands of so many young people who weren't able to know her story and hear her music in 2007, 2008, before a lot of people had heard it, is a really special thing for me and for many others. And I saw some of you know her music. It's protest music, but it's also hard psychedelic rock. And now we're going to move to India. So Ananda Shankar, this man related to Ravi Shankar, Anushka, he passed in '99, unfortunately. He was working in the U.S. and recorded his first album in 1970 in Los Angeles, California. And he did covers of Jumping Jack Flash and Paint It Black. He had the Rolling Stones. He had Jimi Hendrix trying to set up meetings. He had the Doors. Everybody was knocking down his door. And he decided, I would like to make my album without any Western musicians on it, but there are Western influences. So this is bringing us back to how the East found the West and the West found the East. This is probably my favorite Indian record of all time. This is a close second, and I brought a close third for my set downstairs. And this music is spiritual, it is sacred, it is powerful, it is emblematic of India. If you've ever been to India, they are some of the most sophisticated and swagged out, most incredibly talented and well-trained musicians and artists that I've ever met in my life. Every Indian child that I have spoken to told me straight up, you either learn the dances from our Mahabharata and our books, or you learn the songs. You either have an instrument or you use your body to move. And when they're children, instead of just going to church and sitting in the I went to synagogue, same thing. You're sitting in some shitty bench that hurts your ass, and you're listening to somebody give a spiel. You're listening to this sermon. Sometimes, if you go to certain churches, it might be inspiring, but there's a lot of places that you end up that just seem like they're regurgitating words written by men. It doesn't sound like God's voice to me. India's different. their music is part of their religion. And it makes me so excited to be able to live on the same timeline as Ananda Shankar. And this record is one of the few records that I need to play a couple of songs off. And I believe we do have time. So I'm going to let this one ride. Ananda Shankar and his music. This is the LP that changed my life and many others' lives. And Indian music, East meets West. The instruments are not just sitar and tabla. They are very dynamic, multinational, international psychedelic music from India. There's some nice pops on that one. I found this in Bombay, in Delhi. $1975. I'm going to play the reissue for you. Louder. Clearer. This one's a dusty one, so I had to bring the clean one. Not Over masterpiece. Same song. That's a flower power shit at the end, dude. 1975, this fucking record changed my life. So this is his first album. I need one more Ananda Shankar for us. Metamorphosis. This record was recorded in Los Angeles, 1970. Talk about East meets West. This sounds like it could be a pop psych record. Doesn't sound Indian, but then it starts to, and it goes back and forth. Like you'd hear the Carpenters singing on it or something. Like. Ready? Ananda Shankar. So not only was this record recorded in 1970 in Los Angeles, but it says, when I read about him, it says that this record, coming from a classically trained Indian family with Ravi Shankar as your uncle, how challenging must it have been to tell your family, I'm going to LA to make a psychedelic rock record? And they're like, what now? And Indian culture, you know, the Mahabharata was written 10,000 years ago. This is some of the first people in the world to talk about sound, frequency, vibration, and energy creating matter. This is some real metaphysical shit here. They're talking about how in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. This means not some bearded dude in the sky. This means that sound, frequency, vibration, energy, this is the thing that creates reality. These are the properties that this culture explored 10,000 years ago. God knows if we're dating, carbon dating shit properly, but their own books tell us when. And I trust the East a lot more than the West, unfortunately. And I feel like not only was it incredible to know that somebody that could have been fine where he was came to LA and had Jimi Hendrix, the Stones, and the Doors beating down his door, no pun intended. And the Beatles, you heard their shit. You heard the sitar stuff, Within You, Without You, Tomorrow Never Knows. Like, these songs were shaped by India. So the fact that this guy came here to LA in 1970 to record his album just blows my mind. And it makes me feel like, even though I'm paying through the roof, I'm in the right city, baby! Hey, I can't stay deep. I can't keep it too deep. We got to keep it light. Keep it silly, stupid. So this is my brother from Sweden, Sven Wonder. This man has the Swedish government funding his albums. That's how important this guy is. If only we had that. But it's all good. Sven Wonder. Wonder with a W-U-N-D-E-R. Wonder. Sweden's finest, made Eastern Flowers. Final record of the night for this presentation. This guy had a full 40-piece orchestra with the illest Eastern musicians possible to make this record. Eastern Flowers. Pass it this way, Leah. music do justice to the Eastern sound. And Sven Wonder told me that Nissim inspired this entire album, that he was making soundtracks for films in Sweden, and then he heard Nissim and a couple of other records that inspired him to try the Eastern shit, and he fucking nailed it. One more from Eastern Flowers. Life-changing album for me. Modern day library music from Sven Wonder, but taking us to the East. This is very rare to hear in my sphere. There's a lot of bands that jam now. They play Eastern scales, but nothing like this. Players from Syria and Tehran and Beirut, guys, just bringing in real heavy hitters for this. On the dot. Thank you. Truly honored that Elan from Dust and Grooves and I reconnected and brought me through to meet Heather, and Wildflower invited me here, and Amir lives down the street. We're recording at his studio, and I've been, grew up in San Diego, always near the water, and I've been on the east side of LA for 20 years in Mount Washington. But every time I get invited to play records, I get a little nervous. I feel like, I've been on tour with one turntable, a mixer, and my laptop for so many years. I ran a club called the Low End Theory, and Low End Theory was a really important time in my life, for many reasons, but we always had the smallest club with the smallest stage, and we had to make room for the headliners. So the DJs that we ran the night, we started the night, we're the producers behind it, we had to take a tiny little corner of the stage to make sure that everyone had their space. So I modified my entire performance equipment and the style that I did it. But being invited to play my records again and to share some deep listening with, obviously I'm not going to stay still, I can't. I do have a touch of the tism. It is mildly spicy. I'm very proud of it, and I'm going to roll with it until I'm in the grave, baby. But I swear to you that this is round 2. Round 3 is coming up January 25th. These are giving me new life, new meaning, new purpose. Finding myself being of service to create an atmosphere where we can listen to the music, not just hear it. This is something that is very hard for me to make time for. I, like many others, am bound to this black mirror in my hand. Yeah. And I go from a small screen to a medium screen to a large screen before bed. I'm not special. I mean, I'm a little special, you know what I mean? But not in the best way. It's very exhausting. But I feel like this is an environment that we are cultivating curiosity and childlike wonder between us, listening to music in a deeper way with more purpose and intention. And it is giving me so much joy, which, you know, they say we're never satisfied. Human beings always want more. But joy is something that we can cultivate with little tiny pockets through our day by walking barefoot on the grass, going in the ocean, touching a fucking tree, babe. Just take your shoes and socks off and give a tree a hug. It works. We're meant to be in nature more. And music is God's voice. That's how I feel, for real. It is my religion. It is my purpose on earth. And I am imploring you to just listen to music deeper and connect with nature, connect with each other, and in these tumultuous times to be there, to be of service, and go outside of yourself, outside of your circles, and try to give a little bit of energy to this world that's in dire need of a little more connection and a little more depth and a little more fucking whimsy, baby. Yeah. We need a little more whimsy. There's plenty of joy to go around. We have to seek it out. And it is very different from, you know, pleasure. Yeah. Pleasure is very, very fleeting. It is never enough. Joy is there for us to find. And, you know, my parents are 85 and 91. They are not doing well. And I am home in San Diego as much as I can. But I know that they created me and want me to find joy. So I'm doing that actively, as well as being service to my family and my community and the world, if possible. And you guys make it a reality. So thank you. It's an honor to be here with you. Thank you. So thank you. So we are going to pack up here. Thank you, Heather. Thank you. This place is run by your friend who.
Lena.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Force of Nature up here.
Force of Nature let us use this room. This is probably too small now, but I'm really glad that we had one more up here, because this is really special to have the air flowing in and to have the beach right nearby and the negative ions. Like, it just, I wanted to do it up here, and I'm really glad that Lena allowed us, Heather allowed us, and shouts out to our homie from Dustin Grooves. My mic fell off a long time ago. I have no idea where it is, but I really appreciate you guys, and thanks to everybody involved. We're going to pack up, and then I'm going to head downstairs. I got some records, my entire catalog for sale, including band Breakthrough, the first album with Nisim on it. And I'm going to be DJing a bunch of Middle Eastern and Indian records and Turkish psychedelic records while I am at the merch table, bobbing and grooving. And I hope that you stick around for one more minute while I could get my shit together. Thank you very much for being here.